Welcome, everyone. A little suspense. Welcome, everyone. We are so pleased you could join us for the 2023 Governor's Awards for the Arts. I'd like to introduce Lindsay Solberg-Herbel, who is our ASL interpreter, to my right and to your left. I am Sean Oban, the chair of the North Dakota Council of the Arts Board. At this time, I will ask us all to take a moment to acknowledge the tribal people of North Dakota who came before us and on those whose lands we reside. Thank you. First, I would like to invite the members of the North Dakota Council on the Arts Board to be acknowledged. Please stand. Next, I would like to invite the staff of North Dakota Council on the Arts to be acknowledged. You please stand. The boots on the ground. Also present tonight is Lieutenant Governor Tammy Miller. Please stand. And many of our state legislators and officials are here tonight as well. If you could all stand so we can see you. We thank you for all the support you as state legislators give to the arts in our communities. Thank you. Tonight, there are about 150 attendees to celebrate the achievements of our award recipients, including some prior Governor's awardees. If you have previously won a Governor's Award, please stand up. So finally, I'd like to invite Kim Conoco, our Executive Director of the North Dakota Council on the Arts, to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. I have a special request for you. On your program, you'll notice that there is a QR code, and a QR code is going to appear right here. We would like you to flash on it with your cell phone. There is a very short survey, so if you don't do it here, you can do it from your program sometime during the evening. We're in the process of collecting information for an arts and economic impact study of the arts, and we're trying to gather as much information as we can about North Dakota. So your being here tonight is definitely valued information. So I've been here for 5 years. 2 of which I spent in COVID, mind you. So it's kind of a blur. But I'm really proud of what we at the council have done to shift our role a bit from just being a grant maker to being a partner in the community and to really working hard to reach rural audiences across the state. We work in, as I said, rural communities, large cities, from young children to elder facilities, from veterans to new Americans, and to those living in all 4 corners of the state. People turn to the arts for solace, for entertainment, and for inspiration. The arts do so much for the education of our youth, for economic development within our state, and for the health and wellness of our citizens, towards making our communities the kinds of places that we want to live and raise children in, and are towards preserving the beautiful culture that is so unique to North Dakota. So I thank you all for joining us tonight for the Governor's Awards for the Arts. Thank you.
I put mine away.
Don't do that. Just use this one. This is exactly what the governor said was going to happen.
I got it. Thank you, Kim, for both your help with the paper and those wonderful comments. I wanted to talk a little bit about this beautiful award that is given to the awardees. Nelda Shroop is a nationally recognized artist from Lakota, North Dakota, who designed the current award. The award's pendant is made from sterling silver, black onyx, carnelian, white agate, and yellow charchidony and horsehair. The sterling silver crown represents all of the arts. Each horsehair tassel represents one of the 4 disciplines in the arts: visual, theater, literacy, dance, music. The 4 colored beads of the tassels represent all of the races in our world. The first Governor's Award for the Arts was presented in 1977. Since then, the biennial awards have been jointly presented by the Council and the Office of the Governor. The award is presented to individuals, organizations, schools, or educational staff and private businesses that have made outstanding contributions to North Dakota arts. Recipients are selected for their efforts to expand art opportunities to a new audience, improve the quality of art experiences, create an appreciation for North Dakota's cultural heritage, make the arts an integral part of our community and our lives, and for their length of service. The list of past recipients have grown, 98 in all, and you can find a complete listing online at NDCA's website. We are fortunate to have Governor Doug Burgum with us tonight. We are proud to have a governor and first lady who understand the importance of investing in the arts. With their support and the support of legislators and art advocates throughout North Dakota, we can keep the arts alive in our communities across the state. On behalf of the North Dakota Council on the Arts, I'd like to thank Governor Doug Burgum and First Lady Catherine for their support of the arts in North Dakota. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Governor Burgum, who will make a few remarks and present the awards this evening.
Good evening, everyone. It's so fantastic to be here, and on behalf of First Lady Catherine and Lieutenant Governor Tammy Miller, want to again welcome all of you here tonight. What a great group of people to be with. Past award winners, tonight's award winners, families, friends, supporters, community leaders, legislators. And we all have one thing in common. We're all here because we know the importance of the arts. We know how it touches the lives of people in our state and how it can shape young lives, how it can forge new futures for communities. And it's such an honor to be here tonight to recognize the recipient of this year's 2023 Governor's Awards for the Arts. And of course, as always has been in the past, it's very tough. I'm glad I just get to get out the awards as opposed to be part of the selection committee because we have so many deserving people in our state. But this year's award winners, as in the past, have demonstrated selfless dedication and a powerful commitment to bring excellence to the arts across our state. I also want to share gratitude for the members of the board and the staff of the North Dakota Council of Arts for their efforts in promoting the arts in our state. Kim and her small team, we've already acknowledged them, but they're a small but mighty crew that get great work done, deserve the acknowledgement you gave them. And I want to thank our board members, those that have served for a while and those that have been recently appointed. You saw on the screen that the name from Region 2 is vacant. That's not a last name. That means that if you live in Region 2 and you know someone, please advance their name. We'd love to appoint another great person to that board to help keep serving the state. And again, all of you that are here tonight, if you're here supporting a family member or supporting your community or in the legislature, I want to thank all of you for your continued efforts to support the arts in our communities across our state. It's such an important thing, and as we think about how do we build communities that are healthy and vibrant, that can attract families to come here and stay here to help fill the over 35,000 jobs that we have open in our state, the arts is certainly a key part of that. At the state of North Dakota, we are inspired by a purpose, and it's 6 simple words that says we empower people, improve lives, and inspire success. And I think this is a purpose that everyone that works in state government or local government can find meeting, but it also is certainly the aspiration, I know, of every artist. As we seek to create these healthy, vibrant communities to help us achieve this purpose that we have, arts can play a key role, and we know they can play even a bigger role in our future. Tonight, as we recognize the winners of the 2023 Governor's Awards, we also want to celebrate the individuals and the organizations that are committed to enriching the quality of life in our North Dakota communities. And this ceremony is an opportunity to celebrate those extraordinary contribution, and it gives us time tonight together to reflect on the role of arts in our own lives in our own great state. And I, for one, am filled with gratitude. I grew up in a household where my mother in particular was a believer in the importance of arts. She was an educator, but she took time to introduce us to the arts. She made sure it was a part of our life growing up, and it's continued to be a great and important family tradition in our lives. And so I know personally how it can have an impact in how people grow and develop and think about the world that we live in. North Dakota is a state whose strength is really derived from the rich heritage and the diversity of the people that we have here. And that richness can be experienced through the visual, performing, folk, and literary arts that capture our traditions. And now more than ever, the arts are essential to understanding our history. The indigenous people of the state regarded beadwork, music, and dance as an integral part of their lives, and you can see the beautiful awards that we're going to have an opportunity to give out tonight are a key part of that. And of course, we still hold the arts as an important part of daily living. We understand the understanding of the past and our visions of the future are often shaped and made more clear through the creative expression the arts provide. And one of the things I love about what Kim has done is there's been so many opportunities for collaboration, not just with communities, but across state agencies. We had a great opportunity I think it was just last week, I guess, to be with where we have Arts in the Park, where we've had this ongoing relationship between artists and residents and across the state parks in North Dakota. And I know that we have in our own offices in the Capitol, we have an opportunity to have rotating art exhibits from artists that are even that are throughout the Capitol. And this is just it's just fantastic. And when we think about the 125,000 K-12 kids in our state who may have different levels of access to arts in their communities, we know that we have more work to continue to do. But it's the strength of this heritage that we have in the state in the dynamic, both be dynamic and nurturing, but the success is ultimately going to depend on how well we develop the capacities of our citizens. And that's not just how do we get people the skills they need to, earn a living in a vastly complex world, but also how do we develop the next generation of young people in our state to live a life that's rich in meaning. And so with all of that as an opening, I just want to say it's my pleasure here to join Sean in presenting these awards. I want to thank Sean for his leadership of the board, and we're going to jump right into it. Our first award of the evening. And if you've been to these award ceremonies before, which I'm sure you have, then you hold the same excitement that I do to get a chance to honor and learn more about the great award winners that we are going to recognize tonight. And our first award recognizes an individual and a teacher with the award Arts in Education. Let me begin. A good teacher, which we all know is someone who helps us not only learn a subject, but become a good person in society and a good citizen of our country. Teachers inspire us. They inspire us the curiosity to ask good questions, which is important more and more when virtually any answer that is available to us online, anywhere, on any device. The ability to maintain that curiosity into adulthood is key. But it's also the courage to seek out those answers, and I think importantly more than ever, the humility to understand that what we may have learned in the past may be replaced by more current knowledge, and the humility to admit that there's always more to learn, or maybe what we knew before turns out to not be true. And great teachers have this ability to make the complicated simple, to light that curiosity in the students' eyes and minds and keep it going, and they can hold a special place in the hearts of their students often for the rest of their lives. I'm sure as you sit here tonight, as I do, I'm thinking back on teachers that had a big impact on my life. But our award winner tonight He had a 40-year teaching career at North Dakota State University, and I can say that he was was teaching when I was at North Dakota State. But Donald E. Larew is who we're going to be honoring tonight, and please, we're going to go to video, but please enjoy the short interview that talks about his incredible career.
I grew up in Iowa City, Iowa. I've been here in Fargo for almost 50 years, so it's really like home. I got involved with theater in high school. I had really good experiences in school and had some great professors that got me started in the career that I was going to do. I was on the stage crew for the better part of 3 years, and we were responsible for all of the activities that happened in the high school on that stage, which really prepared me to move on to a degree actually in architecture and interior design at Iowa State University. I moved up to Connecticut and got a job in interior design, and I was doing theater all the time, designing and in terms of acting. And finally I just decided that's really what I wanted to do, so I left that field and went back to graduate school at the University of Iowa to earn a Master of Fine Arts degree in theater design. NDSU offered me an opportunity I'd never taught before, so I came in really green and developed a career in terms of the field of theater. Started in 1969 and did it through 2009. It was a great opportunity for me to begin a teaching career, and I guess in some ways ended it as well. The arts are important because they bring richness to our lives. So I have found it rewarding working with young people for their first experiences, in many cases develop maybe not a career in theater, but they have an appreciation then for having been involved with productions. I hope that I've led by example and tried to enrich other people's lives, and it brought reward. I certainly have ended up with a lot of friends from students and so on, colleagues that I've worked with. And so the opportunities were just there, and I feel like I did the best I could do, and I think that I grew as well as the students grew in the process.
Here's a little bit more information on Don. Professor Larew's career at North Dakota State University included designer and technical director for the university's Little County Theater, Prairie Stage Touring Theater, and several music department opera workshops. In addition, he directed several musical theater productions, served a term as chair of theater arts, and was a faculty advisor for the NDSU Delta Epsilon fraternity for 30 years. He has served on boards of Fargo Moorhead Community Theater, the original Red River Dance and Performing Company, Fargo Moorhead Opera, Delta, it goes on and on. He's done lots. He did extensive sciatic designs for graphics in Pennsylvania, freelance designs. Locally, he also created designs for the community theaters in Bismarck, Williston, and New Rockford. He is currently drama section chair of the Fine Arts Club, serves in the Plains Art Museum, and is working on a history of First Presbyterian Church in Fargo, an illustrious and influential career.
For his incredible contributions to the arts over a lifetime in North Dakota, and you heard from Sean how many different organizations that Don had an opportunity to have an impact, and for all the students that he had an opportunity to have a positive impact during his incredible time, 40 years at NDSU. It's my pleasure on behalf of the North Dakota Council of Arts to present the first of the 2023 Governor's Awards for the Arts in the category of Arts and Education to none other than Donald E. Larew. Professor.
Okay. Now I get to say something. I would congratulate all the other people that are getting the rewards this evening as well. I have a lot of families. Every time you do a show, you create a family, and they live in that moment. The curtain comes down, the costumes go away, the set goes away, and you're left with what? You have a handful of photos. Generally, you can't do any recording because that's copyrighted material. But what you're really left with are memories, and those memories stick with you both in your head and in your heart. So I have a lot of families because there are a lot of productions in terms of done during that time. I feel privileged to have been nominated for this award. It includes a number of organizations that I've worked with. I knew nothing about this happening. But my experiences provide me with lots of families. Another family, I also during the same time was advisor to Delta Upsilon fraternity on campus. And I've got a crew of those guys that are here too, another family. And another family that I was adopted into were the Vogels. We were next door neighbors and then I left, but they still keep me as a part of the family. So it's those memories, I think, that we live with. The original thing you've done is gone. It's gone forever. But you have some evidence by the photographs, and the other is really what's in your heart in terms of that. So thank you.
Thank you, Don, for those touching words. Moving on to our next award. From rural towns and to big cities, arts and creativity strengthen the fabric of America's communities. They celebrate local culture, both in cherished and new traditions, telling stories of people and places. Organizations and spaces that support and promote the arts can play a role in changing the fabric of a community. The Empire Arts Center has served Grand Forks community as a gathering space and a home for the arts for 104 years. From its earliest days, the facility has undergone a series of name changes, a multitude of uses, and a past that was complete with bright lights and also with dark challenges. These aspects make the Empire one of the most well-known historic buildings in downtown Grand Forks. And of course, we know that downtown Grand Forks went through its own dark challenges in the floods of 1997. But continuing on from there and sharing the nostalgic of classic films on the silver screen to providing young, emerging, and experienced musicians with a space to perform and connect with one another, to creating a venue for the community to practice and enjoy performing the arts, the Empire Arts Center has cultivated an important resource and space for the Grand Forks community to enjoy the arts. Let's take a look at this video and learn more about the Empire Arts Center in Grand Forks.
The Empire Arts Center is actually two things. It's both an arts organization and a building, and they go hand in hand. The Empire Arts Center organization provides a venue for many local performers to perform, and we also do our own programming in various types of the arts.
We're the Empire Theater Company. We're the producing arm for the Empire Arts Center, and we produce between 4 and 6 shows a year here at the Empire Arts Center. We do pride ourselves in being able to pay all of our actors and technical crew, and that's a wonderful thing to be able to do for local actors who often have training. So we are in a university town with a theater program, so there's a lot of people who come through who have actual theater training, technical training, and maybe they don't want to leave home. Maybe they want to stay here and use their talents and entertain the public. So the Empire is a great facility for that.
At the Empire, we like to support local artists and promote culture and growth here. We do it because we have a love for the arts ourselves. Many of us are here because we've been involved in the arts our whole lives. We care about the community in Grand Forks. We believe it's really important and special.
The Empire Arts Center itself is over 100 years old now, and it's a beautiful facility. It has transfigured from originally being a film house to being a house where people do theater, they do dance, they do music. Our gallery shows art, visual art, and we just hope that we can continue to be here for another 100 years.
Well, it's important because we provide a space and the ability to let people do their performing, to hone their craft, to practice what they love, and then to perform it for audiences who also then enjoy it.
I think a big part of the Empire Arts Center's why, why do we do this, comes down to providing that experience for people. The opportunity to come in, to learn, to see new things to people in the greater Grand Forks area, to folks across the state of North Dakota, and it's a unique experience regardless of what you walk into, and you always come out learning something.
Some additional information about the Empire Arts Center. The center was built in 1919 for showing movies, but over the past 104 years, the facility has been molded to fit the changes in our community, both in entertainment and in culture. As the downtown movie house, the theater led the way locally during the advancement of film from 1920 to 1995. After the flood of 1997, the facility was given a new life as a multi-purpose art center, playing a large role in the renovation of downtown and the local economy. The Empire Arts Center is not only a facility, but a nonprofit serving Grand Forks and the region. Thousands of North Dakotans and others visit the Empire annually to see live performances, view visual art exhibits, watch movies, and attend celebrations. Hundreds of local performers have enjoyed its spotlight, and many regional and national artists have entertained from its historic stage. The Empire Arts Center is a partner to local arts organizations and artists, the University of North Dakota, and the community, and it is a place for people of all ages to gather and be inspired.
For their commitment in strengthening arts in the communities, it's my honor tonight to recognize the Empire Arts Center with the 2023 Governor's Award for Arts in the category of Arts Organization. Accepting the award tonight is Deborah Fluhoft-Hassett, the fearless leader of the Empire Arts team. If she could come forward, but let's give it up for Deborah and the entire team at the Empire Arts.
Well, thank you all. It's so amazing to be here, and especially with such esteemed other awardees. I mean, we're grateful for our award, and we congratulate all the rest of you for your awards as well tonight. I feel really special to represent the Empire Arts Center because I am only one of many, many, many people who have made the Empire Arts Center what it is today, an award-winning organization and a beautiful building in downtown Grand Forks. But I think the really important thing here is to note that I have a great board of directors and a great team of staff members, and we have artists of all types in Grand Forks and those who come to us from outside of Grand Forks who help us make our organization just so special to so many people. We're very grateful that we're able to be part of this just really cool place. I mean, it's really cool. And we're also so grateful because we see so many people come through our doors who talk about some of their experiences that they've had previously, and they're still coming, right? They come back for maybe one event every year, or maybe they come back for every single Empire Theater Company show. People are dedicated to the Empire, and I think that's one of the reasons we are such a special organization and why I'm so appreciative that we have received this award this year. Thank you all so much.
is found in the ideas and creativity of people in every community across our state. These artists, musicians, craftspeople, actors, writers, poets, makers, and more. They're our neighbors, they're our friends, and their family. And through their inspiration and creativity, we're able to share and preserve the heritage of our state and our people. Our next award of the evening goes to our very own cultural treasure from the far west in North Dakota, Sentinel, Butte. A rancher cowboy, Bill Lowman, was raised in the western Badlands of North Dakota. He is an accomplished visual artist, a performing artist, and author, eloquently bringing the seasons and the stories to life as a North Dakota rancher to audiences around the country. Throughout his life, Bill has courageously shared his talent for cowboy poetry, celebrating the way of life that so many citizens in our state and our neighbors throughout the American West. His vision and hard work led to the creation of the North Dakota Poetry Gathering in Medora, which has been going on for a long time, an annual celebration of cultural heritage that's important to so many in North Dakotans and to our state. Please enjoy this short interview with our North Dakota's premier poet and storyteller, cowboy poet, Bill Lowman.
He paused for a minute when he lit next to a creekbank trail. It was then I saw my chance had come and jerked it free from his tail. We're both sweating and trembling now and hurting bad from fatigue. I looked back over my shoulder. Ma's tree wasn't nothing but a twig. Ma's Christmas tree. And that's a true story, and I wrote that just for family amusement because it was an extraordinary event, and that's all. I had no idea of it ever going anywhere. And Joan sent it in. My wife sent it in to our statewide rural electric co-op magazine, and Joanne Winnestorfer, their family editor, published it, and then Greta Swanson from the North Dakota Council on the Arts found it and found me. So that's the history of it. And basically that little poem is where all of this big cowboy poetry in the upper Midwest started from. I've been with the National Cowboy Poetry Gathering since its beginning in 1985 at Elko, Nevada. I'm a charter member. And I came home and started the Dakota Cowboy Poetry Gathering, which features poets from North and South Dakota and other states. But the cowboy poetry, not originally, but the big boom of the cowboy poetry was in the late 1800s of the Texas trail drives up into the northern states here for better grass. It was an oral tradition, and a lot of it went to the graves when those people got older. It was never written down. So I'm a contemporary poet. I like the old style classics, but I'm not an authority of that era. I'm authority of my era, and I write on my happenings and my ranch life and people around me of extraordinary incidences, not just day-to-day stuff, and therefore it gets put into a poem or a song and it's recorded. Otherwise it'll get lost, and that's my main thrust, is to record, enhance, and keep the cowboy tradition alive. I have since worked with the North Dakota Council on Arts as an artist in resident and go around to schools. I don't anymore, but I did for several years, and work with school kids around the state on our culture and writing poems. And I'm a visual artist also too, and that all ties together. I would teach some visual art along with the literary art. It's just awesome. I want to thank the governor and the North Dakota Council on the Arts, because I had no idea. We got a phone call a couple of days ago and knocked my head off. But I'll still go home and ranch after I get the word, as I'm doing today.
Some additional information about Bill. Bill was raised on his folks' cow-calf outfit in the rugged western North Dakota Badlands, some 20 miles southeast of Sentinel Butte, where he and his wife, Joanne, ranch today. Bill was an honor student of the School of Hard Knocks with broken bones in two-digit figure, a product of the one-room school county house. He graduated from Sentinel Butte High in 1965, an all-conference standout in basketball and softball. He then studied art at the Art Institute of Miami, Florida. The multi-talented Lowman is an accomplished visual artist, performing artist in literacy. He has written and illustrated books of cowboy humor, poetry, and cowboy cartoons. Bill's poem, The Great Wanagon Creek Flood, is in Gibbs' production, Cowboy Poetry, A Gathering. He has even graced the cover of Midwest Living magazine and is modeled for L.L. Bean. His sought-after entertainer averages over a performance per week across the nation. His down-home cowboy humor has spread out of the cowboy world to his conventions, along with a steady diet of ag-related rodeos and fairs. He is the founder and director of Dakota Cowboy Poetry Gathering, the oldest ongoing regional gathering in the nation. Bill is a charter member of the National Cowboy Poetry Gathering in Elko, Nevada. He has toured for years with the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, North Dakota Humanities, and North Dakota Council on the Arts. He has received the Greater North Dakota Award for Tourism Development. Lots.
You listen to that list of Bill's contributions across our state, across so many different avenues. You can't just call them significant. It's almost unfathomable, the contributions and the number of lives he's impacted. And so it's deeply my pleasure to present this award. It was to the 2023 Governor's Awards for Arts in the category of Cultural Heritage. But Bill, you talked about traveling. Bill is actually this very evening in Nevada at the National Cowboy Poet Gathering, which he's been going to for his life. And so we all have an opportunity to help me welcome and accept on his behalf Bill's wife, Joan Lowman. But let's give it up for Bill and Joan Lowman. Congratulations. Before I hand this over to Joanne, I want to say the judges, they said they struggled, but there was some thoughts about, in addition to this award, that Bill should win a national award for art for his mustache, because his mustache is also a national treasure. But anyway, here's Joanne.
Thank you. I want to say a very special thank you to Governor Bergman, Council on the Arts, our good friends, Senator Pipecorn, Troy Geist. You guys all made this very possible, and I'm very proud to accept this award for my husband. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. And knowing that he couldn't be here, we have another short video, I understand, of an acceptance from Bill.
I would like to thank Governor Bergman and the North Dakota Council on the Arts for this award. This is really, really exceptional, and it come as a big surprise to me. I am very, very honored. Thank you.
We know that there are many businesses in our state that support the art, involved in the arts, or based on the arts, and many others in our state that rely on the creative skills honed by the arts and creativity. But through this organization's work, the businesses, they provide the opportunity for local artists to share and grow their skill. They played a key role over their history in making art available to the public and supporting artists of many kinds. The idea for creating Makoché Studios occurred in 1990, with building beginning in 1991. David Swenson, working with a world-famous studio architect and local construction firm, oversaw the design concepts and the building of the facility. In 1992, the studios were named in Mix magazine the Room of the Year. In 2005, longtime friends and associate Mike Glott and David Swenson took over the ownership and the management of the studio. Makoché Studios in downtown Bismarck provides artists with a space to preserve their work. We are particularly inspired by the work and the promotion of Native populations, both current and past, through their support of the Densmore Recreation Project. With the resources of Makoché Studios and the nonprofit Dakota Legacy, the Densmore Reparation Project worked in consultation with Lakota leaders and singers to re-record 70 songs and develop additional materials to provide context and history for individual Lakota songs. Let's hear from Mike and David how they keep Makoché Studios laser focused on going forward.
I'm co-owner of Makoché Studios. We're a world-class recording facility in downtown Bismarck. We opened in 1992. I do a little bit of many things around the studio. I run sessions, edit video, work with new artists, produce albums, and I leave most of the business to my partner, Mike.
David and I go way back. We were bandmates, roommates. In the late 80s, I had an opportunity and I moved to California. I lived out there for 26 years, but always hearing about the projects that were going on here at the studio. Turns out in 2005, I moved back here. I've been working here ever since.
We get the question a lot, who is recorded here? There are some famous names associated. Martina McBride, Bones Malone.
Local people, we've had Jesse Veter in to do a couple projects. We had a band out of Fargo that's come in several times, The News. They're old bandmates of ours.
A project we just finished that we're really proud of is the Densmore Repatriation Project. Frances Densmore was a woman from Red Wing, Minnesota. She recorded hundreds of Lakota songs and stories. We wanted to be able to return these songs and stories and make them freely available. The artists that stick in my memory the most are the struggling new artists that come in and want help developing their craft. Years ago, I had opportunities to become a producer engineer in Nashville and in Los Angeles, and decided against it because I wanted to work with a wide variety of artists. And that's really what we do at Makoché. To me, art is the way we build our souls. Art is the way we connect with other human beings. Art is the way we learn about the differences of ourselves.
I think the arts keep us from going mad. It's just a refuge, a place to go, be happy, express yourself. And then it's always fun to see other people doing that.
I think I can speak for both Mike and I and say that, we're really honored to have been recognized by this award, and we're very humbled.
Oh, it was a real surprise, as a matter of fact. Yeah, anytime you get acknowledged like that by someone like the governor, that's terrific.
Art, you gotta support art.
Some additional information about Makoché Studio here in downtown Bismarck. During the past 30-plus years, Makoché has received numerous awards, including 2 Grammy nominations. Makoché has become particularly known for their work with Native American music and language preservation, as well as a haven for local artists developing their craft. Music produced by Makoché has appeared in numerous movies and documentaries, most notably the work of Ken Burns and Dayton Duncan for the Florentine films. The studio in downtown Bismarck features over 3,000 square feet in space, viable acoustics throughout the studio, 16-foot ceilings, and a drum room. Since opening in 1992, the studio has added a video editing post-production studio and a dedicated audio-video restoration suite. The name Makoché comes from the Lakota word for earth, Maka. This is no English equivalent. It refers to the land, to family, and the interdependency of all living things given by Cedric Goodhouse and the respected Lakota elder, the late Joe Flying By. And I myself have recorded at Makoché Studio, I think 4 times, and my son's band has recorded there, so I've got to be there on a couple different levels, so congratulations.
I want to say that this is a special, fun one for me. I had an opportunity to tour Makoché several decades ago. This is pre-streaming, and I was a big fan of the work that they were doing at that time with Keith Bear and recording all of his CDs on flutes. I bought all of those. These guys have been doing great work for decades, making a difference for so many people across our state and around the country, and it's great that we've got a world-class, national-class organization right here tackling these projects in our state. And so it's truly my honor to recognize Makoché Studios with the 2023 Governor's Award for Arts in the Business category. Please welcome David Swenson and Mike Glott.
Wow, thank you for coming out tonight. When Kim called a couple of Saturdays ago and told me that we had been nominated for this award and accepted by the governor, thank you, to say I was surprised would be an understatement. To be honest, I wasn't really sure what the award was. So when I hung up, I called my partner Dave and I said, do you know about this? Is this a big deal? Is there a dress code for something like this? And Dave said, yeah, this is a big deal. You got to get dressed up and you should get a haircut. And I said, really? A haircut? It's that big of a deal? So when we hung up, I decided I would go online and look at some previous recipients to see if I couldn't find something in my wardrobe that would be appropriate for something like this. Well, the first thing I realized was that I knew a lot of those people, some personally, and yeah, they are categorized as heavyweights. It's a real honor to be mentioned with a group of people like that. Thank you very much, Brenna, for nominating us. Thank you for everything you do at the Humanities. I wish your husband still did the news at KX, but I've adjusted. Kim and Troy, thanks for everything you guys do at Council of the Arts. All of the projects we do together are interesting, they're informative, rewarding would probably be the best word. Governor, thank you for having this, and thank you for accepting our nomination, and thank you for inspiring my costume for tonight.
Your strong words of support for the arts at the beginning of the evening, I was really touched by that.
Now David's got some words of wit and wisdom for you.
Not really. It's hard to believe we've been doing this for over 30 years. 30 years of going to work every day, doing something that you absolutely love. I mean, what could be more rewarding than that? And then, you know, on those special days, working with artists that you know are going to leave a mark. So we're really grateful for that. We're really grateful to receive this recognition. And, you know, I also wanted to notice and thank organizations that have supported us. The Bush Foundation this last year made our big Densmore repatriation project possible, but also all of those folks from the North Dakota Council on the Arts, Troy, Kim, particularly, thank you so much. And we can't leave out the Humanities North Dakota, who have been a champion of ours for years. So with that, I think we've used up our time. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike and Dave. That was great. And glad you got the memo on the dress code, too. That's good. You're always safe when I'm around on the traditional arts programs highlight and support traditional culture and traditional folk art throughout the state of North Dakota. They seek to help preserve and continue and grow and make many of the traditions, including folk art and artists in our state. Traditional arts include crafts, technical skills, music, dances, ritual celebrations that are passed from generation to generation within a family, a community, a region, a tribe, an ethnic group, an occupation, or a religion. We've got someone here that we're going to honor tonight who is a contemporary folk artist who's been doing some incredible work which has been recognized around the world in the traditions of the old Swedish folk art styles to tell modern stories. Pieper Fleck Bloomquist has been featured in the Swedish American Museum in Minneapolis, the Dalarnas Galleries in Falun, Sweden, the Cadez Galleries in Fergus Falls, the Nordic Center in Duluth, and here at the North Dakota State Capitol. She's become internationally known as an expert in Nordic folk art and uses her talent to tell our community stories in a traditional form that calls on the cultural heritage that touches many North Dakotans. Please enjoy this interview with Pieper.
My name is Pieper Bloomquist. I am a contemporary folk artist studying and painting in the traditions of Norwegian rose mowing and Swedish dole mowing and bonaz mowing. I grew up in central Minnesota in a very small town called Regal, population 44, very small. It was predominantly the Scandinavian heritage imagery that I grew up with that influenced the way that I paint today. So in my first rose mowing class, 1996, I think, the teacher was had a bunch of other artwork there, and it was Swedish folk art, and I just fell in love with it. People that have inspired me to paint the way I'm painting are my teachers, Karen Jensen of Milan, Minnesota, and Judy Chenstead of Minneapolis. I love their outlook on life. They are both very strong women who have needed to use their talent and their drive to do this folk art in order to earn a living, and that's something that that I've often admired. I am a nurse. I work as an oncology nurse here in Grand Forks, and so that's how I learn my living. My painting has been my coping skill all along. And the stories I come up with, I'm inspired by my life growing up in rural upper Midwest. I'm inspired by some of my family traditions, the things that we did at holidays. I'm inspired by my experience as an oncology nurse working with life and death. It's the emotional feelings and the quiet sensibilities of being human that inspire me, and those are the things that I try to capture in my paintings. I think my paintings are, and art in general, is a different way of recording events. I think it's a different way of keeping track of actual events, and one of the things that it does that is different than a written record is that it records the emotions that are attached to those events. And I hope that my pieces can be identifiable and can carry that on for the state of North Dakota and for anybody who views them. I've used my efforts to try to improve the lives of people that I've worked with in the elder care and other communities when I've done projects with them, and I've told their stories through my artwork, and that feels good for that to be recognized. I've not done this for myself, I've done this for other people, and that feels great.
More about Pieper. Based in Grand Forks, North Dakota, Pieper's been active in programs sponsored by the North Dakota Council on the Arts, including the Art for Life program, the Traditional Folk Art Apprenticeship program as a master artist, teaching both Norwegian and Swedish folk painting, and as an individual artist fellow in 2021. She has twice been granted a folk arts fellowship through the American Scandinavian Foundation in 2018 and 23. She is a regular painting instructor at the American Swedish Institute, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and North House Folk School, Grand Marais, Minnesota. Working in the traditions of Dalmalning and Bonadsmaling, close, Pieper uses the common floral motifs and decorative elements of this art form. Along with the traditional materials of linen and house-made paint, she creates painted tapestries with scenes that narrate modern human stories, including many from the pandemic. She is a frequent guest instructor, holding workshops and lectures for regional art galleries and Nordic heritage groups, all with the goal of creating awareness and appreciation for folk art, its connection to a heritage, and the ability to have it connect with us through our stories.
This is a real honor to give this award tonight for the individual category, but I do want to say in my opening remarks I talked about how art can impact health. And to have an artist that's this accomplished who also has been serving our state and her patients so well with her care and the connection to the arts makes this especially meaningful, I think, for everybody here. So please join me in congratulating the 2023 Governor's Award for Arts in the category of Individual Achievement, Pieper, Fleck, Bloomquist. And I mentioned at the beginning too, our Arts in the Park program, and I had a chance to meet Pieper a couple weeks ago when she was at the Capitol on the 18th floor, and I believe the works, Kim, are still showing through April. So legislators and guests that you're here, anybody that works in the Capitol, go up to the 18th floor. You can see some of Pieper's work that she worked on while she was an artist in resident at one of our parks. And I think, were you at Cross Ranch? Or where were you? Fort Stevenson, so also on Lake Skakawea. So anyway, fantastic stuff, but here's Pieper.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So yeah, thank you, Governor Burgum, for sure for this, because you don't have to do these awards, but you do, and that's great, and you've got excellent taste, because look at everybody here who's been awarded. That's great. Thank you. Right? So I just have a real quick thank you to one person, specifically Troy Geist, who has been absolutely the individual who is responsible for my entire art career. I'm a nurse. This is what I did when I came home from work, and I needed to just quiet my brain for a while, and he caught on to that and just pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and even when I was resistant, it worked, and everything has been so awesome and so fun, and it's been fantastic. So, and the North Dakota Council of the Arts has been fantastic for me, as well as the American Scandinavian Foundation and the Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies have funded a couple of great projects. But I'm super glad that the community projects that I've been part of and the elder care projects that I've been part of are the ones that are actually getting the recognition, not just my art, but that those projects are deemed worthwhile and worth recognition, because they are. They are. And so thank you again very much. And my mom and dad who are here tonight, and my husband's dad, for raising 5 kids, all of us totally different, and they just did a fantastic job and taught us to be good people and taught us to see the good in everybody. And if you see something that needs improvement, just get up and go fix it, or try anyway. And of course, my lovely husband, Mike, who has been my best art critic, even though he's a musician. He's fantastic at visual art consultation, and I would not be here without his undying support, and he nominated me, and I didn't even know he did. So that's great. I love you. And we have a great time. We're good friends. Thank you.
Way to go, Mike, on that. That's a power move. Secret nomination. Look at that. Pay attention, husbands out there, for the learn from this guy. I just want to jump ahead. I'm announcing right now, I'm nominating the First Lady for several awards based on some new information I've just received. No, it's that was great. But also, I with mom and dad here. Okay, let's go back. Let's just take a minute. You had that cool photo with this. With,
My dad looks like Neil Diamond.
could you guys hear that? She said her mom was hot and her dad was like Neil Diamond. I was like, those are the cool sweaters and the hair, whatever. That's really you guys right there. Okay, that's cool. Christmas card? Was that a Christmas card picture? Was that what that was? You don't think so?
The Kiss one was us. The Kiss one was ours.
Well, the very Merry Christmas. I mean, I got that was you guys. I figured that out was the rock band. But I'm talking about with everybody with the sweaters sitting by the brick fireplace. Yeah, okay, all right. Full denial they're in now. Okay, all right. You guys look great, but it was very fun. Well, listen, arts is a family affair, and tonight our final award this evening is for the champion of the arts. And this was recommended by the NDCA's board and staff to recognize a former leader in our legislature, also a community leader, also someone who's been involved in education. She's demonstrated outstanding public support for the arts community in our state for the last 16 years. The arts play a key role, as we've said, in the health and the vibrancy of individuals, families, and communities in our states. And public funding, well, it's often not enough. When it does come through, it ensures that the benefits of the arts and creativity accrue to every community, including rural areas and small towns, as well as our urban centers. Senator Joan Heckaman, who was the minority leader in our legislature in recent years, her career began in 2007 when she's elected to the Senate to serve from District 23 from New Rockford. Throughout her tenure in the legislature, Joan served on the Human Services, Agriculture, Education, and Appropriations committees, and she also served 2 sessions as the Assistant Minority Leader in the Senate and 3 sessions as the Minority Leader. I had an opportunity to work with Joan during some pretty challenging times during the pandemic, and I can tell you personally that she's so deserving of this award because of her humanity, her humility, her compassion, her empathy, her curiosity. We were all learning. We were all up against something we'd never faced before, and she was steadfast and calm in her leadership and served our state in ways that people maybe won't fully appreciate, but a huge contributor. We miss her in the legislature right now. I know Dewey's maybe happy to have her back home for these 4 months. But as a teacher and a legislator, and she's been an advocate for the arts, and she's been a huge advocate for our Native American communities across the state as well, with her work and experience working specifically at Spirit Lake. So again, fantastic award winner, but now we have an opportunity to learn even more about Joan, and let's show the video.
Former State Senator Joan Heckaman. I served Legislative District 23 for 16 years. That's in East Central North Dakota. I was pleased to serve there as their legislator and also know the importance of having the arts in our rural areas. During my legislative term, I served in appropriations and was able to help the Council on the Arts bring funding to their council so that they can go out and do the work that's so important to North Dakota. Not only in the community, but also in the schools. In my work in education, we've worked and started to emphasize the STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and math. And I've been a supporter of adding an A in there and making it STEAM, so putting arts in there too, and some schools have been doing that. I think one of the important things that is going on right now that the Council on the Arts is good at is bringing arts and tradition and culture into our rural communities, and I hope that we can all support that going forward because it's important out there. We all can't have quality productions if we don't have the support and the money to do that. And the North Dakota Council on the Arts is very, very important in the work that they do and the grants that they provide. I was just really overwhelmed when I got the notice that I was getting an award from the Council on the Arts because, like I say, I still draw stick people. I'm not the most artistic person, but one of the things I hope is that I would influence and encourage people to support programs for rural North Dakota. There's nothing like being at a live performance or seeing a live art show or going to the powwow yourself, and those are opportunities that we need to continue.
More about Joan. Joan comes from a rural background. She was born in New Rockford, North Dakota, where my father was born, and raised on a cattle sheep ranch in eastern Eddy County. Her elementary education came from a one-room schoolhouse for 6 years, followed by her 7th and 8th grade in a 2-room rural consolidated school. High school was completed at Grace City High School. She completed her college degree at Valley City State University with a double major in mathematics education and health and physical education. She received her master's degree in special education from Minot State University and holds credentials in learning disabilities, intellectual disabilities, and emotional disturbances. Her teaching experiences extended until retirement in 2004. Following that, she taught at the Four Winds Tatopa Elementary and Middle School and the Four Winds Alternative High School until a second retirement in 2013. Joan served in several community and church organizations over the years, including church boards, Eastern Star, Golf Club, Book Club, Library Board, Central North Dakota Steam Threshers Board Secretary, and a quilting club. She also serves on a number of nonprofit boards of directors across the state. She and her husband Dewey have now moved to Dickinson for retirement to spend more time with family and connecting with their new community. Congratulations.
As I said at the beginning, it's my pleasure right now to present to former Minority Leader and Senator Joan Heckaman the 2023 Governor's Awards for the Arts in the category of Champion of the Arts. I thought I knew a lot about Joan. I didn't know about the steam threshers. Maybe that's where you got the steam instead of stem.
Thank you, Governor. Not really, but I do have to say that steam threshers did receive Council on the Arts Awards, I think 3 different times. And the awards were used to provide music traditional to the time when the steam engines were prevalent in North Dakota farm economy. And so the North Dakota Steam Threshers Association, Central North Dakota Steam Threshers Association, is in its 60-someth year in New Rockford and have used that funding to bring in music such as Senator Pepcorn and the Radio Stars, to bring music, whether if you don't know how to schottisch, polka, waltz, those are the kinds of things that we made sure at Steam Threshers that we had. We felt it was important to pay our artists because artists cannot hardly make a living in North Dakota on their own. And so the Council on the Arts grants and the work that they do is very important to all of our artists in the state of North Dakota. And so I hope that that continues. I have to say that growing up in a rural school, I had one classmate all my 8 years, and our art consisted of scissors, crayons, construction paper, and that gallon jug of white paste that smelled better than it tasted. So, I'm not a very good artist. I'm a pretty left-brained mathematician and math teacher. So I envy all of you who are artists and the skills that you bring to us that are not artists. It fills my heart with joy to see all of you, and I'm so humbled to be in your presence tonight because of the expertise that is in this room tonight. I do want to take a little time to thank my family that's here. I didn't know any of them were coming except my husband. So thanks to you guys for coming, because I told Kim I may need a tissue tonight, but I'm doing okay so far. And then also thank you to my legislative family, including the governor and the elected officials, because 16 years is a long time to spend with people who you connect with business-wise, but also you connect with in a relationship that it's hard to describe. Whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent, you can make connections in the legislature that are nonpartisan. And to me, that's what my best friendships have been in the North Dakota legislature. I do want to mention one thing. It's easy to be a champion for the arts, and I asked Kim tonight if I could mention this because her budget bill is up. It's House Bill 1010, easy to remember. You can join me to be a champion for the arts by calling your local legislators, emailing them, and telling them how the arts are important to you, to your family, and to your community. Give examples of what things are arts in your community and how the North Dakota Council on the Arts budget is so important. Because she comes in with her staff with a bare bones budget. That means she doesn't put any fluff in it. She comes in and asks for what's needed, and I think that that is such a comfort to know as a legislator and appropriator that this is what is needed. This is not fluff up here, and we know we're going to bring it down here. So let's get become a champion with me and support the arts in North Dakota. Thank you.
I want to thank Senator Heckaman, not only for the award, but for those great comments. And it's Senate Bill 1010. House Bill, I'm sorry. Senate begins with 2, I'm learning. House with 1. So House Bill 1010, but what she's saying absolutely matters is because it is literally hearing from you as citizens will make a big difference. I mean, it really, and you make, oh, I'm just one voice. Doing exactly what Joan's asking to do will make a difference for the arts. So that's a great call out. Thank you for doing that. And she's the champion of the arts, and now she's asking you to join her as a champion art. Let's do it, and let's make sure that Kim's budget gets fully funded. Let's say we do that together, okay? In closing, I want to just thank a few people. I want to thank the staff here at the great Heritage Center. What a great asset that we have in North Dakota to have this beautiful facility and the beautiful team that's here. I want to thank Poppy from the state of North Dakota here doing the photographs. We get to see each other often. Thank you, Poppy. And then Lindsay and I have had a chance to get to know each other during COVID. 85 press conferences we did together. And then it got sort of even kind of goofy towards the end. So I would say, what does it look like when you sign, "The governor is really boring and I wish he wouldn't talk so long"? Okay, see? It's like you just can't stop wanting to do stuff like that. So anyway, let's give it up for Poppy, Lindsay, the staff, everybody here. Thank you all. And I'm going to turn this back over in a minute to Sean for closing remarks, but I want to say, Kim, to you and your whole team, thanks for organizing this. Thanks for putting it on, the people that put together the interviews of the awardees. Great program. Congratulations to all the awardees, both past and present. I know we're going to get a chance to visit with some of the awardees tonight because we're going to take some photos down here. If you want an award, join us down on stage afterwards. But again, whether you're a past awardee, a current awardee, or a guest here tonight, let me just say in a most heartfelt way, thank you for being here tonight. Thanks for supporting the arts. The arts matter so much, but we have to keep fighting for them, and your presence here makes a big difference. So grateful for all of you. And again, on behalf of the First Lady, Lieutenant Governor Tammy Miller, and the rest of us, appreciate all you do. And let's go make this the best year ever for the arts in North Dakota. Thank you.
And he said most of the closing things, but I'd like to thank the governor for being here and for sharing his kind words and support for the arts. And Kim told me to remind you that on the back of your program there is the QR code, that if you would be kind enough to complete that survey, that would be great. But with that, congratulations to all of the winners, and everyone have a wonderful evening.